Welcome to the It's Never Too Late show. I'm Monica Topetti, your guest host, and today we are turning the tables and interviewing Suzanne Oshima. She is a life and love transformation coach, and today we are talking about a very important topic. He has disappeared, and why that is a good thing? Oh, wow. Can't wait to hear this, Suzanne. But before we get started, can you share with our audience a little bit about the women you work with and why?
Sure. So I help single women in midlife transform midlife into their best life and find love again in their next chapter. And the reason why I do that and I focus on women in midlife is because I have found that society makes women in midlife feel like, you're forgotten, that you're invisible, and that it's too late. And that breaks my heart because I know it's not too late, but we have to stop believing what society is telling us and start believing in ourselves and that anything is possible.
So true. So true. It's so easy to believe the bad stuff sometimes, I think, to quote Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. But that's why we need experts like you who understand the dating world, who work with midlife women, who know how we think. So thanks for being here, and let's get started. Let's dive into today's topic, which is a great topic because, we talk a lot about online dating on this show, and it can be really one of the best ways to meet a guy. It's the number one way to meet somebody in, the 2020s. The challenge, though, is meeting a great man online, right? It's not the same thing. Lots of fishes, not a lot of good fishes. So many women I know, they jump on the site, they start, swiping and winking and all of that. They're dating a bunch of guys. They start to connect with somebody. They find that one guy that they connect with. Things are going well. It's progressing. And then all of a sudden, poof, they are ghosted. Why is this happening to us?
Well, it's not so much that it's happening. It's what breaks my heart more so is when that does happen is I find that women become the self-critic in that they start looking at, oh my God, when it does happen, what did I say? What did I do? Maybe he didn't like what I wore that night, or maybe he's not attracted to me. And we become the self-critic where we put ourselves down. And what breaks my heart about that is it may not have anything to do with any of those things. And what I find is when we become the self-critic and we start to wonder about all of those things that I just mentioned, those are just your insecurities about yourself coming out, right?
Okay.
And when that comes out here's what I know. Is when a woman starts putting herself down of, oh, it must have been something I said, or maybe I'm not skinny enough, maybe I'm not pretty enough, maybe it's something I said, is it's important for a woman to do the inner work first before she puts herself out there. So that she believes in herself. She knows who she is, and she knows what she has to offer a man. So that she goes into dating confident. She knows her self-worth. She has high self-esteem. Because if she goes in with a high level of confidence and self-esteem and knowing her self-worth, when a man disappears, she's not going to immediately go, what did I say? Because like I said, it may not have anything to do with her. It may have to do with him and his own insecurities, or he may not be ready for a relationship. It may have nothing to do with you. Right. So ladies, stop looking at yourself as the problem. It may have nothing to do with you.
Okay. So you talk a lot on this show about doing the foundational work. And I think that's such an important piece of this because let's face it, we're all going to date and get rejected at some point in time. Not everybody's going to love us or think we're as great as, we think we are. Or maybe it has nothing to do with us. Like you said, it's just the wrong timing or what have you. But it's kind of, you kind of have to realize it's going to hurt a little bit when, that happens. And so, I'm really curious to see when you say it's a good thing when you get ghosted. What do you mean by that? Like, how can we really flip the tables and look at this a different way?
So I don't know about you, Monica, but I live my life in gratitude. And here's how I flip the table on that.
Okay.
If a man disappears, I say thank you for disappearing. Here's why. It's because thank you for not wasting my time and showing me who you truly are, right? And that you're not ready for anything serious, and you're not a true man who can just tell me that I'm not for you and that I wish you well and we should go our separate ways, right? Instead you're chicken and you just disappear. But also, if you look further down the road, if we were in a relationship and things got tough, he would probably disappear when things got tough. If he disappears now and can't say those things. So I look at it as thank you for showing me who you truly are, right? And now it frees me up to find the right person who is ready to stick around for the long term and that doesn't get flustered because of whatever and just feels like, oh, the easy way out is to disappear.
Wow. I think you just changed my entire life and the way I look at things when you happened to me. Thank you. Thank you for showing me that. I love that. I love that. And it's so true, because I think sometimes when we stick our foot in that door and try and make things work, it winds up not working out anyways. And we look back and we go, wow, if things would have just ended at that point, it would have hurt, but it wouldn't have hurt as much as this, or it would have hurt, but I wouldn't have wasted so much time.
Yeah.
And it also goes back to what you say. When a guy tells you who he is, believe him, right? You say that a lot. That's another one to write down, ladies.
And
that's so true.
What you said, Monica, is, I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
But again, there's two ways you can look at it. Mm-hmm. There's a saying, can you look at it with the glass half full or half empty? The glass half empty is, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. I'm never going to find love again. Right. And oh, why am I attracting all the men that, do this all the time? That's the glass half empty. The glass half full is the way I described it in gratitude. Like I said, try to live my life in gratitude. And I know it's not easy. People are going to say mean things to us. We're going to feel rejected. But what if we were to take the one piece of, information that could possibly help us for the next relationship?
True. So, putting that aside for a minute, let's talk to the ladies who don't want to get ghosted. They're tired of character building experiences.
Well, no one wants to get ghosted, but if you do, that's a different way to look at it.
Yeah, it's different if you have and trying to what can you learn from it versus nobody wants to waste their time. So I'm big on signs. Are there signs in a guy's dating profile or how he communicates with you on a date or in between dates that are red flags that when a guy says this or does this, you kind of know he's a candidate for ghosting?
Yeah, it's the type of man that does that stepping in and stepping out thing. You're on a date, but then for the next couple of weeks you hear nothing from him. It's crickets, and it's not to say for sure that a man is going to disappear, but if you start to see a pattern, 3 to 6 months in, he's the type of man that maybe isn't taking it seriously, and he may disappear. And if you start to feel like you're always on quicksand or a shaky ground, you shouldn't feel that way. You should, again, feel like things are progressing at a steady rate.
What about, it's kind of off topic, but related, because I hear this a lot from my friends. The guy that either A, won't get on the phone with you, or B, takes forever to meet in person with you and just likes to text. Is that like a red flag, a ghosting red flag?
It's not a ghosting red flag.
Okay.
What I will say is it's not really related to ghosting, but I want to address it because you brought it up, because that is actually a big complaint that a lot of women have. And so let's address the first part. Is he never picks up the phone to call her, and she's like, I don't want to have a relationship over texting. So this is super important, ladies. Listen up, because I know almost every single woman has this complaint.
Yeah.
It's you have to share with him from the beginning your preferred method of communication, meaning that if he keeps texting you and you keep responding, he thinks that's fine. That's how you like to be communicated with. If you prefer that he pick up the phone, you can say, hey, I'm really busy right now, but I would love to chat later. Why don't you give me a call?
Oh.
Now, I
Like
know
that.
what women are thinking, because I think, like how my audience thinks. Yeah, but Suzanne, he still doesn't pick up the phone. And he
Okay.
keeps texting me. Again, you need to train him on what you want. If you keep responding to the text, you're saying it's okay. You could say again, hey, I'm not able to text right now because I'm really busy with work or whatever it is let's chat later on the phone. I'd prefer a phone call. Why don't you give me a call? Whatever it is. So
Right.
you're training him for what
Yeah.
you want. Now, the second part of your question, he keeps texting, but we're just not meeting in person. And here's what I know is no woman wants a texting relationship or a quote unquote, technology pen pal. So
Yeah.
at a certain point, you can say, I'm really enjoying getting to know you. It would be great to meet in person.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
If you're free next week, let's get together or whatever it is. You're not asking him out on a date. All you're saying is, if you ask me out, I'll say yes. And you're saying in a nice way, I'm tired of the texting. Let's meet in
Right.
person.
Right.
Now, again, I know what the women are thinking. Yeah, Suzanne, I've tried that. Then they keep texting. It comes back to asking for what you need, right? Is if he keeps doing that and he doesn't ask you out, you can say, I'm just curious, are you looking for a relationship, or are you just looking to have a texting buddy? I
Right.
would just be upfront, because I don't know. I mean, if you don't want a texting buddy, just be upfront. If you keep responding, he's going to think it's okay to do that.
Yeah. And I think at that point, I would be wondering if like the person in the profile is really like the person that's like texting me. Like, is there some weird reason, what's going on with you that you don't want to see, you don't want me to see you in person? That's
Well, there can be two things. It could
okay.
be, one is he could be a scammer.
Okay.
And number two, there are men that are emotionally unavailable. And so they just want to have the online communication, but they don't want to physically see someone in person. So they can draw that out. But at a certain point, if they're not doing what you want, which is to meet in person and have a physical date, you have to ask yourself why.
Okay. Okay, good. Now, what about for our audience members out there? I'm talking to the lady out there that just got ghosted. And, she really likes this guy. Is there anything that she can do to kind of like salvage the relationship, or, should she just walk away? How should she handle it?
Great question. Is, I know, ladies, if there it's a man that you really had chemistry and attraction with, and you felt like you had a great connection, but he disappeared, and you're thinking in your head, well, maybe I should try and salvage it. You can, but why? My question to you is why? Why would you want to be with a man that disappears off the face of the earth and isn't a man that comes to you and says, hey, listen, even if he's really busy at work and he says to you, hey, I'm going to be really busy with work for the next month or so, so
Okay.
I may not be in communication, blah, blah, blah. But if a man just disappears like Casper the Ghost, is my question is, why would you want to salvage that?
Yeah.
Why? If he disappears at that, when things get tough in a relationship, do you think he's going to really stick around, or do you think he's going to disappear again?
True. True. Okay. Wow. Well, if that's you out there, ladies, listen up to what Suzanne is saying, because I think we kind of started this whole conversation about, believing what we choose to believe about ourselves and believing that you're worth more than that, no matter how much you like that guy out there, right?
Yeah, it's so true. And lastly, what I would say is this
Mm-hmm.
is it's important to accept it and quickly move on. And the reason why I say that is because all too often I've seen where women could get stuck in, I keep getting ghosted, and then they want to give up. Like the last time it happened, it's like, that's it, I'm done. Here's what I would say to that is, don't let a man that doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
that is insignificant in your life, determine your future for the rest of your life. Why would
Yes.
you do that? Quickly move on, as they say, get back up, get back on the horse, and
Yeah.
keep going. Don't focus on him. He's not worth it.
Yeah. So true. Wow. Some really good advice, like practical advice, but like some good inspiration. I think sometimes we need a little cheerleading in our lives, to spur us on. And every message out there is like, girl, you could do it. And I think sometimes people just feel like they get down on themselves and they take everything personally. And sometimes I think we have to be more like men. They just like let things roll off of them. Oh, she's not interested in me, I'm moving on to the next. And there's some wisdom in that. But thanks, Suzanne, for all of your tips. For anybody that's been ghosted out there, I hope this has been really, really helpful. And for anybody that wants actually some good tips on how to meet a great man, Suzanne has something really special that she's put together. It's this masterclass. It's completely free. It's called The Secrets to Meet a Quality Man. And it's going like gangbusters. People are registering for this thing like crazy. Suzanne, can you tell us a little bit more about the class and what women can expect and how they can register?
Sure. So, the secrets to being a quality man, it's my free masterclass. And in the masterclass, I tell you the number one way to meet a quality man. I also share with you what to do when it's not working online and why it may not be working online. And ladies, before you try to tell me that it's the site or there's no quality men online, that is a fallacy. I will tell you, a majority of my clients have met a quality man online, but they were doing two things wrong on their profile, and I share with you what that is in this masterclass and how to turn it around. So you can register for the masterclass. If you're watching the video, you can click right here on the video. If you're listening to the podcast, just go to yournextamazingstory.com and click on the top of the webpage, and you can register for that.
Great. That class sounds amazing, Suzanne. Thanks again for being here. And thanks for everyone for joining us on the It's Never Too Late show. Our show is available in both video and podcast format, and you can find that at yournextamazingstory.com.